Hey guys, so if you're into film photography, this video is for you. And if you're looking for a Pentax film camera, um, I am doing this video because I just recently acquired this Pentax MX. Together with two lenses, one is the Asahi Optic Company Japan SMC Pentax 50mm f1.2, a extremely fast lens, prime lens, okay? And also with this, I have a SMC Pentax 135 f2.5. So again, rather fast for a telephoto lens, and those are probably one of Pentax's best offerings back in the 70s and 80s in terms of manual focus lens. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is because this is my first Pentax series of cameras and lens collection for 35mm film photography. And just want to have you go through the functionality of this camera and its size, shape, whatever is operation together with me, so you have a reference on this Pentax MX. Okay, so right off the bat, the MX is different from the ME Super that was quite popular among film shooters. The ME Super is a full electric, electronically controlled film camera, and this one is actually fully mechanical. Okay, the only part that uses battery, which it does for two LR44 batteries, is the light meter. Okay, so it's a very rudimentary light meter. There are 5 LED indicators, 2 red colors at the top and the bottom, 2 orange colors between the red and the green at the center, and the green dot at the center. So 5 LED lights that when you half press the shutter, okay, those LED light just lights up and it tells you, kind of if your exposure is right on or if it's off. There's no other indicators. There is no exposure compensation because you don't need it. You pretty much just change your shutter speed and aperture to get that little dot to show up green, and that means exposure is right. You press the shutter to make the exposure. Since we're here, I'm just gonna let you hear the shutter sound. My microphone is right here. This is 125th of a second. Let's do a 1 second exposure. All right, so the shutter speed is rather accurate. Okay, and it actually sounds like the Leica shutter, where if you have slower shutter speed, it's kind of got that follow-up gear grinding sound when the shutter closes, which is kind of interesting. In terms of shutter speeds, it's got the speeds from 1 second to 1,000th of a second, plus a bulb mode. In bulb mode, which is kind of like a red colored B, okay, you cock the shutter, you press the shutter is going to remain open. It doesn't close until you release the shutter, okay? There is a small delay between you press it and you release it, okay? I don't know if that's normal or not, but that's just one thing that's different than other bulb mode shutters that I've encountered in the film, in other film cameras, okay? So for example, the Konica 3, if I turn it into bulb mode, okay, I'm gonna cock the shutter and I'm gonna press the shutter. Okay, so it exposes. This is a leaf shutter, much quieter. And if I release the shutter, you see the shutter door closes immediately, but not on the MX. On the MX, there's a slight delay. Release, and it's got like 0.5 second delay, which doesn't really matter because if you're using bulb mode, you're gonna be doing really long exposures. So I guess that doesn't matter, right? Anyway, that's a difference that I found. You have a ISO adjustment speed dial on the top. You press this little silver button, and then you can turn this dial. Okay, the dial gets turned like this. If you release the button, you're turning the shutter speed. And that's pretty much all the functionality of the exposure in terms of available for this camera, the MX. The other exposure that's available is going to be your, the adjustment is going to be your aperture, which is adjusted through the through the lens over here. And I like the tactile shutter speed adjustment because although it requires quite a lot of force to turn, it is very tactile. So if you're looking through the viewfinder, not sure if it can show. The viewfinder, it's got like a round circle dial with a bunch of shutter speeds on there, together with that 5 LEDs. So you pretty much turn the dial and you know where your exposure is currently set, which is going to be the one that's like horizontal. And once you set the exposure, half press, cock the shutter, and adjust the aperture until you get a reading that is kind of green. And then you press the shutter and you make the exposure. So as simple as that. The film advancing lever is very light actioned. It doesn't feel as smooth as some other film rewinding levers I've used, such as earlier version of the OM1 and OM2s from Olympus and Minolta's, which also have very smooth and good feeling lever. And this one is not. This lever just feels very light action. It kind of feels cheap, but I'm sure it's not cheap and it's well designed. It's just a feeling, not so great. Have your film advance over here. Okay, you turn this to roll the film back once you finish with the exposure. And before you do that, you have to press the film release button if you have film loaded before you start rolling. Show you guys the film chamber really quick. Okay, you open it up by just lifting this. Okay, once it's lifted, the chamber opens up. You can see this one, the MX uses a cloth shutter. Nothing wrong with cloth shutter. It's just on the later stage or later versions, such as the ME Super, they started using metal shutter curtains. But this one is cloth, and I cock the shutter for you guys to see and make an exposure. Okay, as such. Again, in terms of function, pretty rudimentary. You have a little window on the top that actually exposes the aperture speed that was on the top of the camera, so you can see exactly what aperture you are currently set. And again, besides that, you have a split screen with the frost glass focusing screen in here. Pretty typical of the camera back then. And yeah, besides that, film release, the lens release, you press this, you can turn this off, exposes the mirror and the focusing screen. And again, nothing special about this camera body, besides the fact that it's slightly more compact compared to some Nikon and Minolta offerings. So if you're looking for a small compact camera, the Pentax is one of your options, besides the also compact Minolta and Olympus OM series of the cameras from the same era. Okay. One last thing I forgot to mention is this locking button, locking shutter release. Okay, it's kind of nice. I like it. And also there's a little window over there, which is your film cocking indicator. So if right now it's displaying kind of no color in here. If I cock the shutter, you'll see that thing turns orange. Okay, right here. It kind of turns orange, so you know the shutter is cocked. And if you press the shutter, it goes back to no color display. This is a great way to let you know whether your shutter is cocked or not every time you're gonna do a shooting. Okay, so which is a nice indication. So nice touch over there. And for example, on the Konica 3, those old rangefinder cameras, you would never know whether your shutter is cocked or not. I mean, you can double check here, but having a visual indicator is a better way or additional way of knowing that your shutter is cocked. All right, so that's pretty much all there is to the MX. Fully mechanical, kind of nice to use, but I'm not entirely impressed by the design or the functionality of this camera. Again, for me personally, I think there are other better options out there. But if you can get this camera for like a really low price of less than $100 with a really fast lens to use, then this is a great starter camera, or maybe it could be your, forever keeping camera out there. The viewfinder is nice and fairly bright. It's not the brightest viewfinder, but it's nice, and focusing is easy. If you have a faster lens, such as the f1.2, and you have a self-timer over here, the self-timer, you cock this, okay? And in order to release this, you don't really press the shutter here, you actually press this little button. That's where you release the self-timer, okay? When it's running, you can still cock the shutter if it's not cocked, and once it runs to the end, it's gonna cock the shutter, hopefully. No, it didn't cock the shutter, so I guess the self-timer is broken in here. That's one last thing I want to mention is if you get this MX and your lever gets stuck, okay, your lever gets stuck at the top position and it doesn't go down. It's a very common issue for this camera, which is how I got this camera. Okay, so you see the lever stuck on the top. When you get it and it does this, it's a very easy fix. Okay, all you have to do to get the lever done is you're gonna open up the bottom plate. It's gonna expose a few gearing mechanisms over there. All you have to do, use some lighter fluids, just drip some lighter fluids on the gears that you can see at the bottom. That will free up the stuck lever gearing. Once that's freed up, once you cock the shutter, okay, it's gonna release this lever every time. So when I first got this, the lever gets stuck at a slower shutter speed, and as the more I test it, the lever gets stuck even at higher shutter speeds. And again, this is a common issue on this camera, very easy to fix for you to continue to enjoy this camera for many years to come. Just take the bottom plate out, lubricate the gearing, and remove those old grease. It should continue working for you. So one last thing I forgot to mention is this one has a film sync socket over here. I guess it's got two sockets. I guess one is for the really vintage flashes and one is for modern flash syncs. It syncs up to 60th of a second for flash sync. Just keep that in mind. And it's also got a hot shoe. So if you have one of those automatic flashes available, put it on here. It should work. Other than that, that's pretty much all there is to this camera. Also be mindful that those cameras or those lenses from Pentax, very prone to molding and fogs and fungus growth on the inside. So when you buy those cameras, be very cautious, be extra careful. If you see those molds, hopefully you're not overpaying for them. They still work. It's just imaging quality is going to be affected. And also be very mindful if you're buying those cameras from one of those eBay Japanese sellers. They're very, for the most part, my opinion, they're very dishonest. So anytime you see near mint, even mint condition cameras, they might have some sort of mold, fungus, and other kind of hidden issues that's not mentioned or listed. Be extra careful. It's always better to buy outside of Japan in your local film camera marketplace. So you also get the chance to return those cameras if it doesn't work as expected rather easily. All right, so that's my last tip for you guys. Questions, comments, feel free to ask me in the comment section down below. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, like and subscribe for more film photography related videos. Otherwise, happy shooting, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.